You hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. About copying and pasting from Tomek there, I am going to copy and paste my theme from Duncan here, which is a very nice way of bringing everybody together for the show because, as Marko here mentioned, this story will be about why Poland, because every single person I ever meet always asks why a Finnish person picks Poland. The short version, by accident. The slightly longer version, I got a job here. And this will be the full story of it. Basically, I have been working as in different like dead-end jobs in Finland. I have studied journalism myself in Finland, and ever since I was like this high, I had dreamed of becoming a journalist back home. I wanted to do something with my writing because I felt like I have a lot of stories to tell, and I liked writing. I liked the feeling of dancing the fingers over a keyboard and seeing the text coming out and the ideas coming out and flowing out of my fingers. I wanted to do something with this, but it simply wasn't happening. I had applied for job after job and getting them denied after and after and after, and finally I got this job as a railway communications. Too bad the work environment there was completely toxic. I just didn't fit in, and in the end I decided to fire myself. How did I do this? I basically explained that there is no way I'm going to fit in here. Would you please fire me so I will get the unemployment benefits? My boss understood and let me go. But it wasn't the only thing pushing me out of Finland, because at that stage, the job was basically the final push. Before this, I had been in a relationship for about 4.5 years, and this was another thing I had to let go before leaving Finland, because this relationship was basically anything and everything you could ask from a good relationship. Very supportive from both sides. We both got exactly what we wanted out of this relationship, in all meanings of the word, if you know what I mean. And it was basically a dream come true. Except, after 4.5 years after I had proposed and we were planning our wedding and all this, we started thinking about our future a little bit further. I was 27 at the time and she was 22. And at that stage, she had realized that she never wanted to have kids. But from the get-go, I realized that I wanted to have kids, and I had told her this. But she didn't know when we started out, so I can't blame her. But this is basically another thing that I had to let go in order to process the fact that I might be leaving Finland at some point. But when this happened, I didn't even think of letting go of Finland at that point. But after losing my job, or firing myself from the job, whichever way you want to put it, I started thinking that, okay, Finland is not working out for me. The Finnish job market is not, maybe it's not for me. Let's look somewhere else. And as Mark mentioned, I have worked as a taxi driver for 7 years, and believe me, it's the best customer service training you can ever have. Really like full contact on with very, very happy customers, let's call them. And I thought that, okay, there are a lot of casino jobs regarding with customer service in Malta. So I get my papers and started processing the fact that I'm really letting go of Finland and all the wonders and all the snow and all the darkness and all the depression and all the suicides of Finland. And then this agency basically comes up to me and says that, yeah, I like your papers. Oh, degree in journalism. What about Poland? I take a quick look, and even though some of our slammers don't really approve of content moderation, I saw this big G logo on top of the paper and started thinking, Poland. Why not Poland? Fudge yeah, Poland. And at that stage, I started to process that, okay, I'm really letting this country go. I'm really letting all the things that I had back there go. For example, I had played this game called Floorball for over a decade at that point. I had made many, many friends over the sport. They don't really play it here. Again, something I have to let go, and I actually did find a team down here after moving out here and deciding that, okay, I could go on, but maybe. I had gone there for a couple of weeks and realized maybe it was time to let go of this too. Maybe it was time to figure out something else to do. And as it happens, the next time they decided to have a practice session, I decided to skip it out and come here to do a slam.
Hey!
So it's one of those things that when you move out of your country, you have to let go of so much. You have to give up your relationships, you have to give up your hobbies sometimes, but sometimes you find something new. Sometimes you find something great. But one thing that I do really, really miss back home is my cat. Because I had basically all my adult life, when I moved out of my house, I had managed to live about a month without any sort of animals. Back when I was living with my folks, we always had dogs. And I had this 11-year-old dog that I basically had to live with my parents because I was living alone, was studying, I was driving a taxi back then, so there was no way of me having an old Cocker Spaniel with me, so I had to live with my parents. But my mother was thinking that, no way, my son is not living without an animal. So after a month of living alone, he brought me a cat as a housewarming gift. I would have appreciated if she warned me in advance. She didn't. But that was another thing that I had to let go. I had to make that conscious decision that, okay, I'm living in Finland and I can't take a cat with me. There is no way of bringing an animal in here because I didn't have anywhere to go here when I came down here. Another thing that I have to let go. And as it turns out, through my work I had a chance of getting myself another pet, another cat. But unfortunately, after living with the cat for a couple of weeks, I discovered that I had allergies.
No.
Apparently, about a year without living with a cat can trigger allergies, which is something my doctor told me. And again, this is another thing that I have to let go. But on the bright side, again, even though I have to let go of the dream of having a pet at some point, I get to be here without feeling guilty of having a lonely animal waiting at home. Moving into another country is filled with letting go of a lot of stuff. And perhaps the biggest shock for me was when I was basically getting rid of all of my stuff back home. All of my furniture, all of my books, all of my DVDs, all of my games, all of my everything. And I remember as the happiest day of before leaving home was this day with my sister. We went out to this flea market. Basically, I had this big sign of everything must go, move out party, move out sale. And with my sister, we sold everything that I had on that day. I had a lot of board games. I had basically all of my stuff laying right there on the table just before the people came in. And there was this moment where I was staring at it thinking, that's my life. That's my life of 30 years sitting right there. Please take it away. And again, I come down to Poland and what do I have? I have a suitcase full of one laptop, some clothes, and that's it. But on the other hand, it really releases you to have that kind of freedom, to realize that, okay, I can make it in Poland. I can make it in this country of dragon language, which nobody can understand. Okay, I joke. It only has like what, 27 extra consonants? On Duolingo, I saw a vowel like 2 weeks ago, so it's not that difficult, you know. But that's beside the point. It's really liberating once you realize, and especially now that I moved into another house, to realize that I have basically one suitcase full of clothes and another suitcase full of kitchenware. And that's it. If I wanted to, I could leave any day if I wanted to. But by God, I love this city. I'm not leaving anytime soon. I hope you are not either. I'm not ready to let go of Krakòw.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.